Welcome to the Instagram Stories for Wednesday, March 27th. I'm your host, Daniel Hill. I want to talk about an article that I saw on Business Insider recently, an absolutely fantastic article called How Instagram Got Its Mojo Back by Katie Notopoulos. I was going to talk about this article, but then I reached out to Katie. Katie was nice enough to send me a message back, and I asked her to talk about the article so I could share it on the show with you. So here's Katie talking about the article she wrote, How Instagram Got Its Mojo Back.
Hi, I'm Katie Notopoulos. I'm a senior correspondent at Business Insider, and I recently wrote a story about how Instagram got its mojo back. So a couple years ago, maybe 2020, 2021, Instagram was facing this sort of existential crisis where TikTok was this new competitor that had blown up seemingly out of nowhere and was really taking over, especially among young people. The teenagers and Gen Z users really were into TikTok, spending less time on Instagram. And there was kind of this worry, is Instagram going to become to millennials what Facebook became to boomers, where it was sort of, oh, it's not cool anymore. It's only for old people. There's this cooler young thing to do. A company called Sensor Tower, which does app analytics. It sort of tracks usage and app downloads using its own proprietary data. It came out with some information that sort of surprised me, which was that for last year, 2023, Instagram actually beat out TikTok in app downloads. Now, only by a little bit. Instagram had about 767 million app downloads in 2023. TikTok had 733. So small margin, but still, it's ahead. Now, TikTok did beat it in like app engagement, sort of usage time spent type stuff. But overall, it's like Instagram's kind of making a comeback. There's a couple reasons for this, at least we think. One is that last year, Instagram launched Threads, which, whether or not Threads will become the hottest text platform, yet to be seen. But it probably did encourage a lot of people, especially initially, to re-download Instagram if they'd let it go off their phone or whatever. You do need an Instagram account in order to log into Threads. Threads has a little over 100 million active users on it now. The other big part is the success story of Reels. So when Reels launched, everyone made fun of it for being like a kind of crummy version of TikTok, essentially. And that was where you would go to watch things that were viral on TikTok a week ago or a month ago. But slowly but surely, Reels has actually become better and better. It no longer just feels like it's reheated leftovers from TikTok. It's actually kind of got some of its own original content. People are actually engaging and using it. So those things together have actually really sort of pulled Instagram back up. Now, obviously, there's this other piece of the Instagram versus TikTok, which is that there's this potential threat of TikTok being banned or forced to sell to a U.S. owner. Obviously, if TikTok was banned, this would be great for Instagram. It's really unclear what's going to happen with that yet, but we will see. You can follow me, Katie Notopoulos, on Threads. I'm also still on X if you are too. All right. See you on the net.
Huge thank you to Katie for doing that. I will link to her article in the show notes so you can check it out for yourself. We are going to take a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to play a clip from the head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri, talking about all the questions he's tired of answering in his Ask Me Anything. So stick around. And we're back. The head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri, is getting very tired of answering the same questions over and over. Frankly, I don't blame him. Obviously, the biggest question is about reach, but if you work really hard on a post and it gets 5 likes, you're going to be annoyed and you want to know where is the reach. I'm right there with you and I feel that. Here is Adam's entire list of most frequently asked questions and his kind of fed up answers.
Every week on Fridays, I do an Ask Me Anything, where I try and look for the most frequent questions that I get, and I answer them in stories, trying to make sure people understand what's going on Instagram. So I thought this week what I would do is create a video of some of the most frequently asked questions. That way you've got one place to go to get those answers. Now, the most frequent question I get is, without a doubt, about reach. Why is my reach down? What are you doing with reach? Bring back reach. Now, I want to be really clear here. It's in our interest to connect your content with people who are interested in that content. Because when we do that, they're happier, you're happier, and we're happier because people use Instagram more overall. So if you're having issues with reach, and some people's reach is currently going up, other people going down, my best advice is experiment. Everyone's audience is different, and your audience is even going to change their interests over time because people change. So you need to keep experimenting with finding different ways of creating content that they're interested in because their interests will shift over time. Now, I also get a lot of questions about, what's maybe the next most one? Oh, chronological feed. Please just don't rank content. Now, the reason why we rank content is because we actually think it's best for everyone long term. When we try and find the things people are most interested in, they tend to use Instagram more and be happier with Instagram. But that also increases the overall amount of reach or the overall pie, which helps get more reach to more creators on average. So we're going to continue to rank content because there's way more content than most people have time to see. And this is the best way to increase the size of the pie and reach for everyone. Other good questions I get. Oh, hacked. People get hacked all the time. Most important thing to do is go to instagram.com/hacked and we'll do our best to get your account back as quickly as possible. Another one, listening. People think we're listening to them because when the ads are really relevant. I've actually had a number of arguments with my wife about this over the years. I promise we are not listening to your microphone. It would be a gross violation of privacy. It would drain your battery. The little microphone light would turn on your iPhone or on your Android. So no, we are not listening to your microphone. And then let's do one more. DMs. Some people are worried about us taking screenshots of DMs. So do we take screenshot or do we notify someone when you take a screenshot of a DM? The answer to that is yes, but only in vanish mode. So you can actually switch a whole thread with someone into vanish mode if you swipe up from the bottom. And what that does, it makes all of your messages ephemeral, so they'll disappear after a certain amount of time. And it means that we will notify the other person if you take a screenshot because the messages are supposed to be ephemeral. If you have any other questions, let me know down below in the comments. What I'm going to do is try and find some of the best questions in the comments and make reels out of them in the future. So please check it out and let me know what else you want to hear. And I'll see you all soon. Peace.
Okay, let me make a couple of comments about some of those answers that he made. First, you should absolutely have two-factor authentication turned on. If you have not turned it on or you turned it off for some reason, check your settings, make sure it's turned on. Yes, it's a little bit of a pain when you have to log in, but you know what's a really big pain? Trying to get your account back after it's been hacked. So just turn on the two-factor authentication. Next, let's talk about people thinking that Instagram is listening all the time through your phone's microphone. You know this is a commonly held belief when Adam's wife says to him, I think you guys are listening to my phone. That is absolutely hilarious to me. I do agree it would be a major drain on your battery, but when you do get very relevant ads, it is a clue that something is happening. I think Instagram is doing so many other invasive things like looking at your web history, links you click on, links that are clicked on by other people inside your household, and therefore topics that you discuss, someone else in your household might have visited a website about that through the Instagram app, and therefore they're showing you the ad. This is, I think, how they're coming to the relevant ads that you see. But I've been using Insta-Ender for years now with awesome results, and I never see any ads on Instagram, and I'm extremely happy with that solution. Okay, that is going to do it for today's episode. As always, thank you for listening. If you haven't noticed, I've been trying to make more video content on Instagram, so please go check that out. Give it some love. I would appreciate it. And go make some content.
I'm not yet a member of the Instagram team, but my podcast covers many Instagram themes. But the name, image, logos are trademarks at Instagram and the LCC in the USA and every territory. Everything I publish independently until Zuck returns my DMs and starts to pay my salary. Not sponsored or endorsed, no lies, no fallacies. I use their logo with permission, not malicious or callously. No trademark violation, filling all criteria. Follow me on Instagram or Twitter at Daniel Hill Media.